Hey everyone, I just absolutely love this time of year because the good thing about this time of year, before the combine, before free agency, we just get a few days to relax just a little bit, take a deep breath, and look at some of the areas of the organization to applaud and some things to take notice of. I want to take notice of this. The Chicago Bears have hired Jennifer King. She was previously the first African American woman to be hired for a coaching job in NFL history. She's going to serve as our assistant running backs coach next season, and she's going to work directly with our new running backs coach, Chad Morton. I just think we've put together a truly fantastic coaching staff here. But if you're keeping track at home, the Bears have hired a woman and 5 minority assistant coaches to their staff. I mean, the NFL still has a ways to go before it gets to where it wants to be when it comes to diversity in its hires. But this just feels notable. And it looks like a step in the right direction for a Bears team opening doors for others to break barriers. It's just pretty cool to see. And on top of that, the Bears on Twitter, they recently posted as well. We're proud to have supported girls flag football every step of the way in its journey to becoming an IHSA sanctioned sport. Man, there's just some cool stuff going on around the game of football, so let's recognize that. But I don't want to talk about this story just due to her gender or her race. Once again, it's actually a cool thing, but I want to talk about the fact our coaching staff, it just got noticeably better with the hiring of Coach King. We've hired someone who's just qualified for the job, and in an obviously very male-dominated environment. I mean, naturally, it should be by its nature. It's pro football. But our organization is dedicated to improving and just hiring a good coach and overlooking how non-traditional she is. I just think it's a great move. So let's check out who Coach King is. I'm going to go to the story on chicagobears.com. It's a great profile. You guys check it out. I'm not going to scroll through the whole thing, but I want to give credit. So let's check out who Coach King is. She's coming to Hallis Hall after previous stints with the Carolina Panthers and most recently with the Washington Commanders. Also, she served as the West team's running back coach for the 2022 East-West Shrine game, and she started out for the Commanders as an intern in 2020. And then she earned the position of assistant running backs coach by 2021, so she advanced very quickly. This is what made her the first full-time Black female coach in NFL history. And she was on Ron Rivera's staff for 2 years until she was released, along with the rest of the staff upon the firing of Rivera. And it's not due to her performance or anything that she did. It's just simply what happens when a coach is fired. His staff typically goes with him. So while she was there, she was instrumental to running back coaches Ricky Jordan's stable. And in that year, they had 423 attempts and 1,697 yards and 20 rushing touchdowns. Most specifically, Coach King, she worked very closely with running back J.D. McKissick. He had a career year catching the ball with 80 receptions. You guys remember that. I had him on my fantasy team, so I do remember that year. And on top of that, it's the second best performance for a running back catching the ball in the history of the franchise. Before this, Coach King, she was an intern with the Carolina Panthers from 2018 to 2019. And in this capacity, she worked with wide receivers and running backs. I'm going to close that story. Previous to this, she was an offensive assistant at Dartmouth. That's an Ivy League school. Maybe our coaching staff just got smarter too, right? Will we utilize our talent better now? Will we make better decisions? Anyways, while she was there, she was awarded one of the first of 3 inaugural grants from the Scott Pioli and Family Fund for Women Coaches and Scouts. This financial assistance award, it's given to female football coaches and scouts to encourage building careers in football. This isn't something new to our organization as well. In 2021, the Bears hired Ashton Washington as our first full-time female scout. She still remains with our staff, so this isn't exactly groundbreaking. We've done this before. It's not a big deal in that respect. King would then get her first full-time job in pro football with the AAF's Arizona Hotshots as an assistant wide receivers and special teams coach later that year. But after the league ceased due to bankruptcy, that's too bad, she returned to the Panthers as a running back coach intern in 2019. So that's kind of where she is coming from as a coach. Let's talk about her athletic career. It's pretty substantial. She went to Guilford College, I believe that's pronounced properly, and she played basketball and softball. But there's a logical question. What brought Coach King to football? Her football experience, it came from playing in the Women's Football Alliance as a quarterback and wide receiver for the Carolina Phoenix from 2006 to 17. That's a long career. She played for the New York Sharks in 2018, and then she played safety for the Washington, D.C. Divas in 2019. The WFA is a semi-pro tackle league for women. It started in 2009, and it's actually still in existence, so that's cool. Coach King, she'll be assisting in coaching a running backs room that is one of the NFL best. And let's talk about the Bears running backs room last year. Ranked first in rushing yards, second in ground scores, fifth in yards per carry. I mean, sure, Fields was a big part of running the ball, but we had both Herbert, we had Foreman, we had each of them winning the FedEx Ground Player of the Week award individually. I'm just saying that it wasn't primarily the Justin Fields show on the ground, okay? Foreman, he might be going elsewhere, I think. But in tandem with Herbert, Roschon Johnson is one player we'd really like to see develop into something special. And I'm interested to see how this area of our offense shakes out, right? There's also a player to keep our eye out in free agency due to familiarity with Coach King. Many times players follow coaches, right? Antonio Gibson. He's a free agent this year, and he's looking to bring his career back to what it was previously a couple of years ago. He might be a great add to this running backs room, and he'd most likely come on the cheap, I believe. Look for this guy to be a target in free agency, and I would absolutely love to see that happen. Just a good complementary back for what we're trying to do here. So we're looking at shifting to the Shane Waldron offense. We're getting some reports on that. He's going to run a pure West Coast offense here. It's going to be predicated on short passes, on slant routes, getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly. You can say that that agrees with Justin Fields or Caleb Williams. Both of them have a history of holding on to the ball way too long. Shane Waldron specifically, and our new quarterbacks coach, they have specialized in the past of working offenses and offensive lines and schemes together to get the quarterback to get the ball out of his hands as quickly as possible. If we look back at Seattle, they had a super strong running game. They had two breakout stars last year, I would argue. And Coach King, with her experience in Washington, with her previous experience in Carolina, she has a great track record for coaching running backs. She got that career year out of J.D. McKissick. He hasn't really had one since then or before. I would say that she was instrumental in that happening, and I just think she's a really good hire. And moving forward to next year, we want to get the most that we can possibly get out of Roschon Johnson. I think it's so important that he becomes our main back. Like I said, Foreman's probably going to be gone. And we're also looking at Khalil Herbert. He's still signed. So we're going to have a robust running backs room with a new running backs coach. I just think Coach King is going to be a great compliment. She's going to be a great addition, and I'm excited to see how that room shakes out. So you guys, I mean, let me know what you guys think our running backs room is going to be like next year. Let me know if you think Antonio Gibson is a good add, and also let's celebrate not only diversity in our hirings, but also hiring the right people. And I think we just have an absolutely fantastic coaching staff, and I'm so happy. You guys bear down. The combine is almost here, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya.